Today we're going to get a little bit spicier, and so we're going to do some more advanced poses. If you're not quite there yet, do what you can. If not, don't worry about it. There's other videos. No wrong answer when it comes to yoga, as long as you're being safe. Let's start off in child's pose. Okay, knees together or apart, sinking the hips down towards the heels. You're going to stretch the spine out nice and long. Even crawl your fingers a little further away. And take a couple deep breaths from your child's pose. Deep inhale. And a long exhale. Do that again. Slow inhale. And exhale. We're going to jump right into it. So you're going to come through into a tabletop position and step the right foot through to the outside of the right hand. So your foot's going towards the outside of the mat. So take both hands to the inside, and then you're going to drop your pelvis forward. In Hatha, we often call this lizard. You can either take the toes and kind of point them out towards the side, or just truthfully let the knee organically pull the foot wherever it wants to go. That's it. Think like trying to get a little bit of extra stretch into that left hip flexor, left side. And we're going to hold here. That's it. I love to think like almost cobra shoulder blades really subtly, so you feel like you're trying to lift the heart up. For all of these poses, think like long, long spine best you can. Now you can just stay exactly where you are. Otherwise, you can start to let the weight of the right hip pull you over towards the right side really subtly, and you're going to roll to the outside of the right foot. That's not always super agreeable for everybody's knee, so you don't even have to go over that far. Just kind of pour some of the weight into the right side. This is called winged dragon. You can stay in this position, or if you want a little bit of extra spice with your winged dragon, a little bit of extra fire, then you're going to start to maybe drop down onto the elbows. If you can't get quite all the way down towards the ground, because the distance between palms and elbows onto the earth is quite a big distance, so a sweet middle ground is often onto props. So even if you only have one block, sticking it underneath your elbows can really help. Think pelvis forward and slightly right, and you're going to find that extra rotation in your hip. It's going to get spicy. Stay here for just a couple more breaths, I should say. Nice. And you can stay exactly where you are, or you're going to come back up onto the palms. Take the left hand a little wide. Right hand goes onto the right thigh, and you're going to shoulder check over that right side. That's it. You can stay here. Again, you can even roll back to the sole of your foot. But you're going to bend into the back knee and grab that foot and pull it in towards your glutes really subtly. Truthfully, even pulling it in might not even be necessary. Just grabbing the foot is usually quite a bit spicier. That's it. Hold here, keep breathing. That's it. Now you can stay in this position, or you're going to drop down towards the left elbow. That's it. That's it. Take just a couple more breaths here. Nice, you guys. The next time that you exhale, slowly release. You're going to go all the way back down to your child's pose. Take your time moving. You're going to slowly start to pull the hips back, so you're taking the weight off of the front leg, and then just literally let it crawl back into your child's pose. Sometimes those poses are the ones that you're like, I don't know how I'm getting out of this. I'm going to get stuck here. And just sink back and take a couple breaths. It's going to be impossible for you not to feel the difference in the hips. Okay, take as much time in child's pose as you need. Whenever you're ready, we're going to start to switch into our dragon series on the other side. It's short and sweet, short and spicy. Bringing that left foot step it towards the outside of the hands onto the left side. That's it. And then take that back knee, walk it a little further back, just like millimeters further back. Think pelvis drops forward and slightly toward the left. You're going to find that deep, deep stretch into that left side. And by left, I mean right, into your right side. You're probably going to feel a lot of pressure on the left as well. That's it. Again, think cobra shoulder blades. So think like heart is pulling up slightly, shoulders are pulling back. You're going to find more pull into your hips by lengthening out your spine. Make sure your knee is happy. Sometimes walking the foot wider out, or further back, or further forward, you have to find like the right angle. If your knee is not unhappy, it means you're trying to force the foot or the hip into a direction that the knee doesn't want to go. And the knee is the thing that kind of gets to determine where everything goes. So your hip has this beautiful amount of rotation in it. It has like full range of motion. Your knee doesn't have that same luxury. Okay, take just 2 more breaths here. From here, you're going to think the pelvis goes forward and slightly towards the left, putting a little bit more weight into that left side. You can again just kind of roll organically to the outside of the foot, make sure your knee is happy, and then you can stay here or you can drop down onto those elbows. That's it. If you find that your hips are really wanting to pull back behind you, it means that there may not be quite enough space between either your lunge or not enough space in your hips. So you can try walking the back knee a little further back if you have the space, or just put a prop underneath your elbows or stay up on your palms. So now you can just stay exactly as you are, or you're going to start to bend into that back knee. So before you actually get there, you're going to take the right hand nice and wide, take that left hand to the left thigh, and then rotate open towards that left side. That's it. From here, you're going to bend into that back knee if you have the space, holding on to that foot. It's going to create more stretch literally everywhere. Make sure your knee's happy. Make sure your shoulders are happy. So you can stay here or drop all the way back down onto the elbow. Keep breathing. Say a last breath here. Nice and slow. You're going to slowly start to unravel. Take hands down. You're going to pull those hips back. And then again, just slowly start to drag yourself back. Awesome. Okay. Make any kind of resting position. It can even be like comfortably on your seat, child's pose, anywhere you feel comfortable. From where you are, take a slow inhale and a long exhale. Nicely done. Whenever you're ready, we're going to meet on our seat. You're going to take those legs out nice and long. There's a couple different ways you can get into a full saddle, but this is one way if you want to try it. You're going to roll over towards that right side, tuck in the left, same thing, roll, tuck in the right, and then just sit down between the heels. If you find that's kind of complicated, especially on the ankles, you can always make your way just into a tabletop and then just literally bend into the knees, take the feet a little further apart, and you're going to roll back to sit between the heels. There's no wrong way to get into it. That's it. From here, we're going to take those hands behind the back, lift the hips up, and then tuck the tailbone underneath and drop the glutes back down. If your knees separate, let them separate. This is the same idea that your hips are being pulled open, so your knees go where your hips want them to go, okay? From here, you're going to slowly start to take yourself maybe further back. If you don't have the space, stay seating up. It's fine. If you do, you're going to make your way down, maybe onto the elbows, maybe elbows onto a prop, maybe all the way down onto your spine. And just breathe from here. It's going to be spicy. You're going to feel this one everywhere. Take just one more breath here. And then fun fact, there's really no graceful way to get out of this. So we're just going to get out of it however you can. You can either just press your way back up. Try not to use your low back, but use your core, use your hands, or you can roll to the side if you want to. But you're just going to unravel those legs, release them out, and give them a nice shake. That's it. You can even make your way back down onto your spine and give the legs a little bit of a shake out. Beautifully done, you guys. Okay, you're gonna need a block or any kind of prop for the next part. So you're gonna grab your block, and if you have to sit up to get it, that's okay. You're gonna take your block and stick it underneath your glutes. That's it. Okay, this is gonna help to put that low back into its natural curve again. We're gonna do a supported bridge pose. So again, you're gonna try and tuck that tailbone under. That's it. That's going to help to target the front line of the body a little bit more. You can actually stay in this position if you feel like your body has had enough stress. This is a beautiful way to help rejuvenate a lot of that stress by just subtly reversing the blood flow. You can stay here, or you're going to start to slowly straighten out the legs into an extended supported bridge. And this is going to help pull onto the front of the muscles on the hip flexors, and it's going to make that deep arch in the low back. So you're going to get that organic curve from there. That's it. Your arms and legs can make any expression. You can straighten the legs, you can butterfly, so soles of the feet come together, or again, if it's too much stress, you can always keep them bent. That's it. From here, again, same with the arms. Arms can be out, cactus arms, anything you feel good about. There's no wrong answer. Take just 2 more breaths in this position. That's it. And then you're just going to start to bend into the knees. So soles of the feet come back onto the ground if they aren't already. You're going to start to lift those hips up. Whenever you feel ready, if you still feel a little bit too fragile, that's okay. And then you're going to drop those glutes back down towards the ground. Sometimes coming out of that pose can feel more intense than being in the pose. So if you need a couple extra breaths or a minute, it doesn't matter. Just stay there until you feel like you can move safely. For our last pose, we're just gonna take butterfly. So take soles of the feet together, drop those knees open to the side. You're gonna rest one hand onto the belly and one hand onto the heart. Take a nice slow deep breath in and release. Do that one more time. Inhale and release. Just allow yourself to breathe organically for just like half a minute. Allow yourself to just reset and just be. Now stay in your reclined butterfly for as long as your heart desires. Try and move when your body's ready to move rather than when your mind tells you you should move. And then whenever you're done, just make sure you're drinking lots of water. Thank you so much for coming to share your practice and have a beautiful day. Namaste.